that only Jesus can help me, that only Jesus can change me and can transform my life. Talagang deprive ako of my mother's presence. No? Kaya every time na aalis siya, I think hindi kasi strong yung bonding ng family, yung ties ng family. Hindi ko nakikita yung house is a good refuge enough for us. Kaya I need to go out sa bahay, from bahay, and to look for people na po pwede kong makausap, makaututang dila, makasama sa pagkain. So mas nag-enjoy talaga ako sa labas. Ang reason lang talaga nung pagdadrugs ko dahil sa barkada na nakita ko I'm not belong to the group kapag hindi ako nagdadrugs. Parang I don't want to be separated sa kanilang company. Yung pag-engage namin sa mga bakla, it's just ang pinaka-reason lang yan is kailangan namin ng pera. Tawag namin doon follow up eh. Nung nag-follow up ako, kinaumagahan, nanalamin ako, at parang nakita ko sa sarili ko may mga ugat-ugat ako sa mukha. Pero wala naman. Pero ang pakiramdam ko marami akong ugat sa mukha. Ang ginawa ko, lumabas ako. Ang bahay, lakad lang ako. Pagbalik ko, bigla akong natakot. Tapos tumakbo ko. Takbo ko ng takbo. Parang pakiramdam ko may humahabol sa akin. Pakiramdam ko yung mga tao, alam nila sa paligid sa mga tao, alam nila na drugs. Alam nila na may ginagawa akong kalokohan. Alam nila, kilala nila kung sino talaga ako. Parang yun yung pakiramdam ko. Tapos ang feeling ko parang mababaliw. Mababaliw na ako. Tapos ayoko nang lumabas ng bahay kasi baka kung anong mangyari sa akin. Tapos parang natutulala ako, nalulungkot ako. Wala nang pag-asa yung buhay ko. So takot ako yun. Nakita ko yung ina. Magpakamatay na kaya ako. Gusto ko nang tapusin tong buhay ko kasi wala na eh. Ang buhay ko ay patapon na. It's better for me to die. Kesa naman ganito yung sitwasyon ko, mababaliw ako, parang ganon. Isang beses, lumuhod ako, tumingin ako sa langit, tapos nag-pray ako with all of my heart because I know there is God. Sabi ko, Panginoon, alam ko marami akong kasalanan. Alam ko marami akong ginawang pagkakamali. Sabi ko, tulungan mo lang po ako sa sitwasyon na ito. Baguhin mo lang po yung buhay ko. Nangangako po ako maglilingkod ako sa iyo. After that pray, nagkaroon ako kahit papanong peace. Tapos natulog ako, dreaming na paggising ko, maayos na yung takbo ng isip ko. Pero paggising ko, ganun pa rin. Paano na ito? Parang gano'n. I need really help. Then, I disclose my situation sa aking kapatid. Siya ay Christian. Kung ganito yung sitwasyon ko. I was hooked sa drugs. At piling ko mababaliw ako masisiraan ako. Si Ate Livia, instead of talking to me through her professions, kinausap niya ako tungkol sa for spiritual about receiving and accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Pero after a week of attending, binigyan niya ako ng Bible, tapos pinaliwanag niya sa akin ulit kung sino si Jesus sa buhay ko. That only Jesus can help me, that only Jesus can change me and can transform my life. After namin mag-usap, tuwan-tuwa ako nun. I don't know why, but I have that joy in my heart. Excited akong umuwi sa bahay kasi I know tatanggapin ko si Jesus as my Lord and Savior. So, umuwi ako ng bahay, pag-uwi ko ng bahay, and I received Jesus Christ as my Lord and personal Savior. Nagsimula na ako mag-church. Nung time na yun, nag-church pa ako, nag-yoyosi pa ako nun. Addicted pa ako sa sigarilyo. Until finally, nag-decision ako na itigil din yung pag-yoyosi. Yung inom talagang automatic natanggal sa akin. Beer house. So, nawala lahat yun. Yung pagsusugal, automatic nawala din. Yung Panginoong Jesus, napaka-bait sa buhay ko. Mahal na mahal ko ang Panginoon Jesus. He is my everything. He's my satisfaction. So I remember the passage that hope will not disappoint us because hope is a person. And Jesus is my hope.
Ako yung nag-drugs ako lahat, inamin ko sa kanya yung tapos nag-sorry ako sa kanya. Ang maalala ko lang, parang sumusunod lang ako dahil napag-utusan kasi dati kasi pag matanda, lagi kang susunod. Kahit magkamali siya, hindi ka pwedeng magsalita o against sa kanya. Kung pagka-addict lang sa pornography, ginagawa na naming manood. Betamax pa kasi yun. So nag-collection kami, lahat kami magbabarkada, nanonood lang kami doon sa isang bahay. Tapos that time makakasama ko yung mga yung mga thrasher, yung mga metal, yung mag-disco, manigarilyo. Lagi na ako sa bilyaran nun. So doon na naubos yung pera ko sa sugal. That time na pagka nakakamariwana kami, pupunta kami sa crossing. Nanonood naman kami doon ng mga sa bar, mga nag-uubad, mga babae, gano'n. Doon ako nakasimula na nakatikim na ng mga babae. Pagka naka-drugs kasi ako, feeling ko parang masaya. Parang ayaw ko na iwanan yung mga barkada ko. Yun lang yung pakiramdam ko nun. Pero hindi ko rin alam na may hangganan din pala yun. Parang napupustrate na ako na kung ano ba talaga ang para sa akin. Hindi ko malaman that time na yun kung ano ba talaga hinahanap ng buhay ko noon. Pinatutunayan ko sa buong Palawan, sa buong Puerto. Kasi ako yung kauna-unang may computer dito sa Puerto Princesa. Kumbaga hindi kami matalo. Masaya ka na sikat ka. So, pag naglalaro kami, yung mga computer ko, binubuksan ko yan para lang sa laro. Tapos yung mga bata, nililibre ko yan sila lahat. So, may mga tournament na online games na nananalo kami. Kahit walang tulugan, isang linggo. Basta makalaro lang kami na makalaro. That time kasi yung asawa ko hindi ko sinusunod. So, ganun na lang laging routine ng buhay ko. Parang naging Diyos ko na yung computer mo. Doon ako nakulong sa yung bang pagising mo sa umaga, check mo yung computer. Tapos 3 oras lang tulog mo. Tapos check mo ulit ng computer. Tapos mag-browse ka. Tapos mamaya manonood ka na naman ng pornography. So nakita ko yung ganung buhay ko. Napansin ko rin na yun ang nadala rin ng mga bata. Napansin akong sugat sa kamay ko. Parang tiniris ko siya. Pag tiris ko gano'n, kinabukasan, dumami na. Pero nung pinakahuling-huli na yung halos hindi ko na makaya kasi pag nakasuot ako ng long sleeve, pinaka-long sleeve ko, nababasa na ng sugat. Nagkulong na ako noon, tagal ko sa kwarto. So lahat ng mga kaibigan ko, yung mga nakakasama ko, pag kinakatok na nila ako sa kwarto, yung mga kaibigan ko, yung misis ko lang nakakita sa akin. Hanggang sa talagang inabot na ako, nandun na ako sa kwarto, hindi na ako lumalabas. May time na yun na pagbukas ko ng TV, yun na yun, yung nakita ko yung isang pastor nagsasalita na ikaw may sakit ka, para ako na yung tinutukoy niya. Doon ko hiningi yung kapatawaran, tapos nagtataka ako. Sa puso ko talaga, kasi talaga na-encounter ko talaga si Lord. Hindi ko alam ba't umiiyak ako na hindi ko maintindihan. Naiiyak talaga ako nung malabas talaga yung luha ko na hindi ko rin alam kung bakit. Sundan ko lang siya na hiningi ng tawad, tapos yun na, patawarin ko na lahat yung mga nakapaligid sa akin, lahat ng mga naloko ko, lahat ng mga sinira ko na buhay, ganun. Parang sinunod ko lang lahat yun hanggang sa talagang parang feeling ko na may nawala, may naalis. Sabi ng doktor kasi hindi raw gagaling, parang habang buhay na. Pero 1 month pa lang, gumaling na. Inamin ko na sa misis ko lahat yung mga babae. Tapos yung mga pinagawa ko, nag-drugs ako lahat. Inamin ko sa kanya yung... Tapos nag-sorry ako sa kanya. Si Lord, inalagaan niya ako. Despite na nagkulang ako sa kanya, nagkasala ako sa kanya, tinanggap niya pa rin ako. Talagang hindi kakayanin ng tao. Pero si Lord, kakayanin niya.
Something is happening. I mean, gang members don't change just like that.
El Salvador is one of the deadliest places on earth. The tiny Central American country is in the grip of a war among rival gangs and the police. Successive governments have attempted to control the gangs, using force, cracking down on the streets and filling the prisons. Last year, more than 10 people were murdered every day. Gangsters tattoo their allegiance on their skin. Membership is for life. In El Salvador, they say the only way to leave the gang is in a body bag. Those who attempt to leave face social stigma and the threat of execution from other gang members or the police. Rehabilitation programs are practically non-existent. But in the capital city, San Salvador, a religious group is trying to help the gangsters swap the gang for God.
If God could change someone like me, someone that has done so many wrong things, why not change all these other men?
In '87, Gomez, like hundreds of thousands of others, fled to the United States. On the streets of Los Angeles, he found a home with the gangs.
Once I got into the hood, I decided to join the gang, and I had to find a way to survive, to make money to eat. So I used to sell heroin.
Gomez joined 18th Street, named after the area in LA where most of the gang members lived. They fought for territory with a rival Salvadorian gang, MS-13.
A lot of my friends that I grew up with and that joined the gang almost at the same time, they were killed during that war.
It wasn't long before he had a run-in with the police and was put behind bars.
I got busted for selling narcotics to survive and using it at the same time.
In a bid to reduce gang violence, the Clinton administration in 1996 passed a law that meant immigrants convicted of crimes with a prison sentence of more than a year would be deported.
I remember my mom mentioning, hey, you need to be careful. They deporting people now. Be smart, stay away from trouble.
Thousands of gang members were sent back to El Salvador, including many members of MS-13 and 18th Street, who took their brutal battle for the streets with them. The number of deported soon rivaled the size of El Salvador's 16,000 strong police. After almost 20 years in the US, half of which was in prison, Gomez saw deportation as his ticket to freedom.
The one thing I wanted the most was to be free. So I signed. 3 days later, I was on a plane on my way back over here.
Just 3 months after he arrived, he was back in prison, serving 10 years for stealing a security guard's machine gun.
I remember going into prison and they just had a massacre. The smell of blood was still in there. I'm talking about 150 persons in one cell. Had to sleep there, shower there, go to the bathroom there.
From his crowded prison cell, Gomez found an unlikely salvation.
The Christian people, they asked to pray for me. So I told the guy, okay, pray for me and then leave. Something happened. I started crying like a little kid.
The prayers had a profound effect on Gomez.
I had spent nearly 16 years of my life in prison. And all along I knew that I needed help, but I didn't know who to run to. I had no family. The guy that was praying for me asked me if I wanted to receive Jesus, and I told him yes.
After joining the church, Gomez began to convert other gangsters to evangelical Christianity.
Tócalo, ponele la mano, tócalo. Y decile, Dios te dará una nueva oportunidad. ¿Cuántos quieren esa nueva oportunidad? ¿Quieres una nueva oportunidad para tu familia? ¿Quieres una nueva oportunidad para tus hijos? ¿Quieres una nueva oportunidad en medio de la sociedad de El Salvador?
In 2016, he helped persuade the prison director to establish a separate area where religious inmates could live and pray in peace, away from the gang members. This was an attractive proposition, and hundreds of prisoners followed Gomez. Some were genuine converts, others just wanted better prison conditions.
Que quema, que quema, que quema.
never seen so many guys being impacted by the gospel. Guys all tatted from their face, singing praises to the Lord. When I first joined the church, it was about 100 men in there. And little by little, that 100 was multiplied. Now it's over 900. It's something is happening. I mean, gang members don't change just like that.
In early 2017, Gomez was given parole in San Salvador. He feared that if he left prison, he would fall back into the gang. On the outside, there are few prospects for anyone linked to the gang to earn money legitimately.
To my surprise, there was someone waiting at the door, a Christian. And they had heard about me through a guy that had parole before me. And he had told them that I was one of the leaders in prison with that Christian movement. So they brought me here to this church. They made food for me, celebrating my freedom. That was big for me.
Since leaving prison, Gomez has helped other newly released gang members find refuge in a tiny church in San Salvador. But inmates who convert inside prison struggle to stay away from the gang once released. Only 7 former gangsters are church members on the outside. The rest find their way back to the gang. Those who do join the church have a tough existence. They have no money, no prospects, no place in society.
Being an ex-gang member here in El Salvador and facing society's rejection is the biggest obstacle that I've faced so far.
Nosotros hemos perdido familia, hemos perdido de todo, hemos perdido hijos, de todo. Pero mire, es duro. Pero ahora que hemos venido el camino de Dios, Dios nos ha bendecido de una gran manera.
Yes, I made wrong choices. I made my mistakes. You have made yours. Maybe my mistake is that I put ink on me. Maybe your mistake was that you cheated on your husband. Maybe my mistake was that once upon a time I took a life. Either way, they're mistakes. Maybe mine are bigger than yours, but I'm still a human.
These men, once devoted to gangs, now claim to be devoted to the church. In many ways, the church is similar to the gang. Both have strict rules, a hierarchy, and demand obedience. Solving El Salvador's gang problem will take more than converting a handful of gangsters to Christianity. The question facing El Salvador in the long term isn't whether an individual gang member can change, but whether society can create